What's that? I have.
Oh, you did, okay.
No, I was trying to see what day we have to.
What's up? Yeah, behind it. The whole is, yeah.
What's that?
I can even talk about it.
I have a copy, yes.
Something you can do.
All right, before coming to order today, we're going to enforce the resolution regarding public meetings. Therefore, this camera needs to be placed in the back of the well, or in the back of the seating area.
I have a First Amendment right to record a public meeting that is not interrupting you. I'm not moving my camera.
So it's not an issue with recording the meeting, you're correct, you have every right to record every public meeting. It's about the orientation over the shoulder.
I'm not moving my camera. You guys have been refusing to record the meetings, so I'm recording them. I have a right to record the meeting.
So the Sunshine, or the
Sunshine Act, I've read the Sunshine Act, and it says as long as it is not interrupting the meeting, and you cannot use anything to try to dissuade me from exercising my First Amendment right to record this meeting, sir.
I saw the link to the previous recording, and it did point over my counterpart's shoulder, so there's an ability potentially to review the solicitor's notes during the meeting, and the borough has attorney-client privilege with those materials. So orienting it in a way where you can't see those privileged materials, it does interfere with the meeting.
Let me then say this. I will move it tonight. I want this council to make an effort to record the meetings on their own, as they should be for the public. I have requested the Wi-Fi password to stream these meetings for the public, and it has been denied numerous times. The board has also been very quiet. The reason that camera is up there is to capture all of the audio of the meeting, especially the whispering from your previous solicitor and the manager sitting beside me. I'll move the camera tonight, but I want an effort made from this board to make these meetings public and all information and audio in them easily heard by the public and members of the public, because y'all work for the public.
All right, the Borough Council
Sir, if
meeting.
you want to confirm you can't see anything, the audio is still running.
Goldsboro Council meeting for September 9th, 2024 shall come to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Following the pledge, I remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of Goldsboro Fire Police Officer Brian Peak, who tragically lost his life in the line of duty on corrections or additions? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the August minutes as read.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? All right. Citizen remarks, we have,
John Linder from West Shore, Chief Number Assistant.
all right, so we have John from West Shore Rec, please come up to the podium.
Yes, my name is John Benito, and I'm the president of the West Shore Rec. The West Shore Rec has been around for 56 years. I've been involved with the West Shore Rec for 33 years. And I want to thank Goldsboro for your loyalty, support, commitment to the West Shore Rec. We have great programs for all ages throughout the year. As you see by the two we have a fall edition of 2024 and the summer of 2024. And we have programs, like I said, for all individuals, ages, what have you. We have different trips and so forth. And our registration this year went up a little bit, which is a good sign. And we had our budget meeting about 3 weeks ago, and it was decided with the increase of insurance and increase of the for the program instructors have gone up, and we had to raise the price from per capita, which was $310 to $320, and that means your increase is $93.20. It goes from 2.8. Let me put my glasses on, make sure I get the right numbers here. It was $2,889.20. The increase of $93.20 will increase it to $2,982.40. Now your registration from the Goldsboro area was around 75 to 80 individuals, which we appreciate. Like I said, we have all different types of programs. And I want to thank Brian for coming to our meeting, giving us an update of what's going on in Goldsboro, and hopefully that you'll look at the budget and see if you can approve it, and we would appreciate whatever you can do, because, like I said, the West Shore Rec has been around for 56 years, and like I've been around 33 years, and it's a great program for all individuals and what have you. So, if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Yes, sir.
You said we had 70 to 80 residents?
75 to 80.
75 to 80?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any other questions?
When does this contract be back to you by?
I think the first payment, I think, is in January, then I think the next one is in February, March, and the third one's in April. But it's up to you, because it states in the contract, I'm not sure the exact date, but I think that's what it is. But you can pay whatever amount, if you want to pay 2, 3, or the whole thing, it's what's comfortable with you guys. And like I said, it's in the budget. It depends on how your budget works out as it goes from there. So,
So we can discuss that during our budget meeting.
Yeah, our budget meeting scheduled for early next year.
okay, no problem, no problem. We got plenty of time. I'm here a month earlier because I wanted to get things going on, moving forward, because I'm going to be off for a little while. But I just wanted to get in front of you to show you that the West Shore Records appreciate your loyalty, commitment, and support for the West Shore Record. And it's always a pleasure. I've been coming down for a number of years here, and I see some of the familiar faces, and I appreciate whatever you can do for us in the West Shore Record. So, and again, for Brian for being at our meetings. I know he's the new guy in the block coming to our meetings, but he gives us an update on what's going on down here in Goldsboro. And I know parks, park that I think you're doing some interesting things down there. So hopefully you continue to do that because activities is very important for the families and residents of Goldsboro and the surrounding areas. So you gotta do the best you can, whatever room you can find to put some type of activity support. I know, we have a lot in our area, Fairview Township. Pickleball is a big hit going on nowadays, so I don't know how much activity that could be down in this area, but you just never know. But it's a pretty big thing going on right now. We just put 2 new ones up at our place, and we have in our basketball court. What we did, we also made it pickleball court in there too. So we actually now have 4 pickleball courts, and they're used pretty good now. And it's something that we try to move forward and whatever new things that come out that can fit into our park. But you have so much area and what have you, and you can only do so much, and a lot of things cost a lot, and everything, prices are rising, what have you. So do the best you can, and hopefully you think of the get outside and do the activities and what have you. So again, I appreciate the time. And any other questions or anything? I'll try to answer it. If not, okay. All right. Have a good meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do we have any other citizen remarks? If so, please come up to the podium. Please limit your time to 3 minutes.
I've never been to one of these meetings, so I'm really not sure what I'm supposed to say, if I'm supposed to.
Tell your name and address.
So my name is Linda Morrow Ford. I live at 40 West Broadway, right here in town. And I apologize, I've actually been a resident here. I bought my home 6 years ago, and I've never been to a borough council meeting, so I kind of feel sorry that I haven't been here. Sorry. But I wanted to address something that had happened. To kind of I know that last month my camper was brought up as an issue. I think the issue was more of a residency, full residency on the property, in which I just would like to assure everybody that there's not a full residency in the camper. We do have 2 families that reside in my home. It's something that we've gotten approved through West Shore School District so that all of our children can go to school. I am blessed. It is a big home. It's 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, so we are able to accommodate 2 families. So just to let everybody set their worries aside, there's no issues back there. But a few weeks ago, there was an incident that had taken place on my property, and I felt that my safety was at risk. Really don't want to go into the details of it. The authorities were notified, as well as our mayor, the borough council president, and another member of council. I've received no follow-up. Don't really know what is to expected, but this is my opinion. The manner in which things were addressed was absolutely inappropriate and could have ended much worse if this had been another family or another property owner. But unethical or threatening behavior should never be accepted or tolerated. I do not allow them
zoning code. What is a well? You can't be a well.
Okay,
It
what's,
could be an he shed, she shed, whatever, how you say that, but it cannot have beds or bathrooms. A camper does.
Okay, so none of the campers in the borough should be on that property.
No, they could be on the property,
Okay.
you just can't live in them.
I think she
we
just
can
stated
address
we
that.
weren't living in them, so I don't know what the problem is.
She can stay wherever she wants, I know what I'm saying. So she wants to stay wherever she wants to stay.
Again, what's the zoning code specific?
I don't know what code is specific.
You cannot, what it says in the zoning is that you're not allowed to have two residents on the same
Now
property.
it's their property, right?
So essentially, I have a garage. When I had our garage built, Mr. Fishel gave us the permit for us, and he said that because it is a movable structure and that there is not permanent electricity or plumbing ring inside it, that it is not a separate residence. It is just an additional property, an additional building on our property. And the same with our camper. Our camper is an additional place that we utilize on our property.
But again, he said, you can't have sleeping quarters or bathroom. That is a zoning ordinance.
I didn't see that when we were reviewing.
Why would they do that?
I just wanted to let you guys know that it was addressed, that no one was allowed to sleep in there, so we addressed that issue, and we had a spare bedroom upstairs, which wasn't a problem, so it's worked out.
Are people occupying it during the day?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do utilize it during the day. My niece has disabilities and sensory overload sometimes with dogs and, with the kids and stuff. So it is easier for us to, go out there and maybe just sit and watch a movie with her.
So it's being used as living space
It's just a
during
second,
the day?
yeah, it's a second space that we utilize, kind of like my boys in the weekends when they're in the garage. We use that during the day as a space as well.
As I said, I think this is more of an issue for the zoning board.
And that's not a problem, I'll be more than happy to address it if there's an issue. I would like to be notified. I think that, being notified via mail gives you guys a vacuum, hey, we're notifying this lady. Well, a knock on the door in July, a bang on a camper in August, that's not cool. And that's why I think things need to be addressed. We are held to an ethical standard of behavior. As an employee, you guys should understand that. You understand ethical conduct, and every person here at this table has to provide that to our community.
I'm happy, apologies, I'm happy to go over the procedural process. I know there's a line item under the mayor's report. Just kind of walking through what to expect and some sort of violation and subsequent.
Thank you. Any other further citizen remarks? Hearing none. Chief Less, please report.
Evening, council, evening, residents. So for the month of August, in the borough, we handled 50 incidents. We have one part one crime, which was a DUI. No part two, arrest for incidentals, 911 hangups, crime watch, domestic, EMS calls, fire calls, foot patrols, harassment, information received, juvenile problem, motor vehicle crash, non-reportable, PFA, information, a PFA service call, miscellaneous, suspicious persons, traffic complaints, trespass, and warrant service. There were 4 warnings issued to motor vehicles for traffic violations. And that is it. I wanted to, just, there's a lot of people here that are usually not here, just remind people that, it's that time of the year, as in summertime, where people are out walking around more, especially when it's beautiful days like yesterday. Please make sure that you lock your vehicle. Halloween's coming up. Did the borough set a date on when trick or
Yeah, we
treaters?
have that, Chief Smith with the fire report.
Total calls for the month of 13, total calls for the year 114. We have 4 structures, 1 brush, 1 wires down, 1 investigation, 2 automatic alarms, 2 public service, and 2 fire police. Currently, right now, the tanker's out of service, should be back tomorrow. And most of you all see the bunting on the station. That is for the line of duty death for Brian Geek. His memorial service was put public on Friday. It's September 14th at 1 o'clock at Fairview Fire Department Station 1. If you do plan on attending, try to get there as early as you can. We're expecting anywhere between 300 and 500 plus people. And that includes apparatus. As mayor, I'm going to coordinate with Chief Lutz and fire police and the borough president, closing of Pennsylvania Avenue from North York down to First Avenue and First Avenue all the way. Closing of those 2 borough roads. Reason for is to accommodate any additional parking for apparatus or personnel. And it'll be parked one-sided, so anybody can get out. Celebration of Life is to be held over here at Goldsboro Firemen's Club. We're expecting anywhere between 300 and 500 people in the borough. So, that's all I have for the fire chief report.
Doug,
Yes.
I'm not sure what time that's gonna be. If it's after 5 o'clock or whatever. I've got 3 spots in my driveway that anybody's more than welcome to use.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. The plans are just to park one side of the street to at least give some leeway, walking room, that kind of stuff. Most of the residents down through there, with the exception of you, now I've given heads up verbally. So I've spoken to them, so. That's all I have.
You want to read your letter about taking me off the?
We're not,
We're not there yet.
Okay, so what were the streets again?
Pennsylvania Avenue from North York down to First Avenue, and then, First Avenue. No, that's it.
First Avenue.
Yep. And that's to accommodate any additional overflow or parking. Absolutely.
Put it on the, Facebook page and stuff.
Yes.
So that they see it can, that's Rosewood Post. Anything else for the fire report? All right.
You have a paper for the fire.
Fire call tax?
You know, what's going on.
Gotcha.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going from ordinance to resolution, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm fully, York County already has a resolution in place, and based off Newberry, they also should follow suit.
That doesn't say where we can do it.
No, they have an ordinance. I read theirs today, and it's the county, we're following suit from the county versus ordinance.
The amount of papers that get filled out.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll get them updated and onto the website.
No worries.
I need a motion to accept the fire report and the police report.
Make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Mayor's report.
Alright. I'll start off right off the bat. Letter went out to Council President. Dear Council President, please be advised that under ordinance number 81-1, section 6, subsection D, I am hereby rescinding the previous issued letter directing the borough manager to assist in enforcing the laws of the Commonwealth and ordinances, resolutions, and bylaws of the borough effective immediately. This is due to several complaints that have been made to me by residents of the borough. It must be pointed out there is an inappropriate manner in handling of the enforcement which does not include unprofessional conduct, i.e. manner and tone when speaking to residents of Goldsboro Borough. Steps taken in the enforcement of the ordinances and continued follow-up of the enforcement. This notification shall remain in effect during my term of mayor, including any re-elections, which I tell you in a moment.
And he's assuming all that, 'cause he wasn't there. He's just assuming.
I'm going to provide you, as I did before via email, with the written statements. Moving on, weed abatement to the borough. A couple of residents assisted in weed abatement down on South York Street. Thank you very much, and I think you know who you are. Also to Mr. Combs and cleaning the curbs from the street to the actual curbside. There were some places that were missed only because vehicles parked there at the time that anybody was going through in the weed whacker. Obviously, they're growing like weeds because a lot of them are back already. Couple of questions. You had called back to me last week, I believe it was, regarding 446 Clover Road, regarding the catch basin cleaning, correct? That's the entrance to Shelley's.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Who were after the meeting, if you want to share with me again who the complaints were? And I want to point out to council, there are 3 known catch basins within Shelley's. 446, 422, and 609 are all on private residence properties. The one sitting on 446 has a 2 to 3 inch pipe coming off of it that runs out to Valley Road. The other 2 catch basins, I'm not familiar with any pipes running out of them. Hence the reason why there's cattails there.
There's a 46-inch pipe that was one from, Protest 400.
Okay. I stopped up and actually spoke to the one property owner, and I think actually it was 422. As soon as you make it right. It's 422. Apparently he had stated that the previous borough manager, prior to yourself, an agreement was made that a portion of that property would be maintained by the borough with the sign, understanding that Shelley's sign is posted on that property.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something that the borough manager wants to go and reconnect with this homeowner and ask for clarification.
Before.
That's one with the easement, right?
What's that?
So that's the one with the easement.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Because he stopped the lawnmower guy from mowing.
yeah. Now, I know in the past, which I have pictures, I didn't bring along, the previous borough manager actually had an individual that would clear out those catch basins.
And that doesn't want anybody doing.
Which guy? The one there at the entrance?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in talking with him, I pretty much told him, I said, you got 3 options. You can either clear it, fill it in, because I don't believe, was that something that was put in by the developer when the development of that property was put in?
Yeah.
So that's not DEP regulated, is it?
Not that I can find any paperwork on.
So I told him, I said, technically he could fill it in if he wanted to.
I don't think it's like one into that little corner.
There's no pipe going in because there's natural runoff from the hillside down through there. So even filling it in, there's gonna be a natural runoff anyways.
Okay.
So I suggested he could look into possibly filling it in, or he can line it and make a pool. So,
Well, there's like a big concrete pipe coming out of that, I think, around.
No,
That's
not-
different.
not that.
that's a different one. This one's right at the entrance to Shelley's.
The one you're talking about, one you're talking about's down here.
Yeah.
That's got.
The one we looked at.
That's the one that really can't be touched because of the size of the pipe. The larger the size, the less likelihood is for you to go and be able to do much with it.
Yeah. That could still have that to be closed in.
My question is we're having this homeowner clear this, what about the other 2 catch basins?
They should all be, keep them clean. We clean them, this is when I was the person going to work. We clean them, all of them. And turned it over to them, and they were told from the previous manager that they would take care of them. And that's where they're at.
And any of those catch basins, to our knowledge, they were all put in by the developer, right?
Yes, they were. Right.
So there's absolutely nothing stating they can't fill those in.
Right, but the one down here has it's on the prints.
Yeah, because now if I'm correct, the one down here on Railroad Street actually flows out and under the road, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're-
So, but the other 2
The
technically.
one out on Valley Road is on the prints also. That's got a head wall, it's got a small pipe that got.
Yeah, on the other side down to the street.
That's what we're thinking, because all the storm drains go to that one.
So they aren't monitored by DEP then?
No,
Okay.
I mean, not that I know of.
Yeah, and I looked too, and I didn't see anything.
So he can legally fill it in?
I guess you could, I mean, there's nothing going into it. I mean, there's only a 4-inch pipe going out of it. So, it doesn't do a lot, everything on the range.
43 South York Street and First Avenue. That's a backyard, landlords, but they're renters. And I stopped twice and actually go to speak to them. And both times that I stopped, nobody came to the door. However, the second time, a child rode their bike out the backyard. No, I'm not chasing that.
Did you say First Avenue?
Yep.
Yeah, I went down and took pictures of that. There's weeds growing out onto the
I know.
street.
Yeah.
And I was gonna bring that, but you got it.
So, again, I'm gonna make one more effort to stop down. After that, they're gonna get a heads up letter, or a letter from the mayor advising they need to take care of that.
Well, that would have to be to the landlord then.
Well, no, it depends on under the rental agreement, whether or not they're required to maintain the property or the landlord is.
I would say one each.
I would assume that the renter is responsible.
I would say one each.
Yeah, and I can do that. Skip that one. Any info that the solicitor could provide me regarding entry on the property, or do you want to wait for that under yours?
It doesn't matter to me, I'm happy to speak on it now, if you think it would be easier for everyone.
If you could, sir.
Sure. So this, I understand, is with respect to private property inspection only, right? Not just general
Correct.
violation
Yeah.
enforcement. So essentially, as was alluded to during the public comment period, it's best to resolve these things amicably, either by phone call or by walking up and knocking on somebody's door. Each officer, whether it be zoning ordinance, property maintenance code, construction code, other licensing requirements, has the ability to conduct an investigation of a suspected violation. To the extent that the owner refuses consent to inspect further, that's when you walk away. And then you have to go through other means, or it may be plainly evident that a violation is present and you can proceed with further enforcement.
Yeah, I've wrote some notes down. Three things that stick out for a mayor, and pretty much for anybody that looks to go on property. Ask politely to enter, whether in writing or verbal. If told to leave, then leave. Don't linger or loiter. If signs are posted to no trespassing, loitering, soliciting, then conduct in writing. Those three things as a mayor I've worked with, and I can tell you now, the first one always seemed to work for the most part. Like if you ask politely.
I should add as well, there's no issue with being in public property inspecting for violations as well. If you're on a sidewalk or right of way, you're conducting the inspection as the officer, looking and making sure that a violation isn't present, that's fine. Or even on a neighbor who's granted you consent to go and inspect further. But yeah, you're correct.
Moving on. This would normally fall under EMA, but I wanted to address it now. Called and spoke to York County. Our EMA coordinator still has not turned in paperwork. And I'm bringing it to the Borough Council President to possibly put out to the council members to see who would be interested in filling that position.
He gave me some stuff last, the end of last week, I saw him sign stuff. Yeah, knock it down.
They would have been lost. So it should have been active.
Yeah, Will did sign some stuff.
It doesn't come to me. Will has to contact York County and get paperwork filed for that.
The reason he's not here tonight is his mother had to take it off.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying, they asked me about it, because again, multiple reasons, you know, obviously, if training grounds, anything that requires a EMA coordinator, we have nobody available. So,
But he's supposed to be coordinator.
Yeah, he signed this stuff last week.
but, yeah, if that can be followed up with and looked at. Moving on. At this time, Bill Clark, please come forward. As mayor, I'm swearing in Mr. Bill Clark under oaths for fire police. Mr. Clark, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, William Clark, do solemnly swear
I, William Clark, do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth.
and that I will discharge the duties of a fire police officer with fidelity,
I will
and that I will discharge
discharge
the duties of a fire police officer with
the
fidelity.
fire police officer with fidelity.
Congratulations. Last point I want to bring to the council's attention is, within the last 3 to 4 weeks, I have received 3 complaints regarding borough employees discussing matters outside of the borough office publicly, that regard to private matters. And I wanted to make sure council was made aware of that. I'll leave it at that.
Could you
That's all.
repeat that, please?
Absolutely. Within the last 3 to 4 weeks, I've had several borough residents address concerns of private matters being discussed in a public format outside of the borough office.
You mean the front or back here?
Outside,
Outside of this. public.
Oh, okay.
person's thing.
Okay, he's talking about borrowing home. What was happening down there?
Yeah,
That's not the only place. But I'll leave it at that. That's all I have.
Need a motion, anyone else, any discussion or public comment for the mayor's report? All right, if not, I need a motion to approve the mayor's report.
Make a motion.
All those in favor? Opposed? All right, ELA and P report, or H and P report, and water company report. And is there any member discussion or public comment on the EL, H, and P report or water company reports? All right, hearing none, I need a motion to accept the ELA and H and P report and water company.
That's an awful
I make a motion.
For a second? All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? All right, solicitor's report. Or no, I'm sorry, engineer's report.
Nothing.
Need a motion to accept the engineer's report?
Make a motion. Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? All right, solicitor's report.
I don't know that I have much by way of a formal report. Most of everything that I have to talk about is scattered throughout the agenda. But it might be helpful to further elaborate. I talked about the ability to go on private property to conduct an inspection. But more generally, the inspection process, at least with respect to zoning, is very defined by statute. I know that municipal governance is pretty complicated, but whenever you're talking about an enforcement action, you have to think about the governing body of the law. Whenever you're in codes world, it's whatever code is incorporated by reference, like the IPMC, International Property Maintenance Code. But with respect to zoning, is under what's called the Municipalities Planning Code, and in that process, your zoning officer goes out and inspects potential violations. If they identify one and they want to begin formal enforcement, because a lot of this is handled informally, they will send a letter, and that letter has to contain a number of minimum requirements. There's like 6 or 7 listed in the MPC. And then in that letter, it will inform you of all your rights to appeal to the zoning hearing board. So there is a documented process to follow through whenever you get to formal enforcement. I hope that helps clear some things up.
Is there any member discussion or public comment for the solicitor's report? Hearing none, I need a motion to accept the solicitor's report.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Committee reports, buildings and grounds.
Trees are all cut apart and down to power lines. We ran into a mess out today that's completely all trees, so we'll go back in and hold it off. That's all I have in trees, so
Emergency management,
he's not here.
finance,
Budget's coming up, well, budget meeting, for the next meeting. And, I gave you a copy of this year's budget, make remarks on it, bring it along to the meeting. Okay? So you guys know what's happening with things, so.
planning,
Nothing on that.
all right, recreation, we have,
John Road, yeah.
we already heard from Steve. And we heard about the rate increase.
Yeah.
Looks like we have a reminder that the Fall Festival is October 12th at 2 p.m. at the official park. Visit the borough's website for additional details. There's a soup cook-off in that as well, a pie contest. 2024 trick or treat will be October 31st, 2024 from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's also for recreation.
I'm sorry, with that, borough, the Fall Fest, Charlie, you said you weren't gonna be, you won't be
No, I won't be
there.
Yeah.
So we're looking for volunteers, and I believe I said something to Brian about helping maybe cook hot dogs. We have hot dogs we're gonna make, and we invite any council member to volunteer. Any bird, but I think I did I say something about that?
No, you didn't, but we talked before about
Right.
this type of thing.
But yeah, we like, we don't want anybody to feel left out.
Are you gonna get Conley's training back?
No, we're just gonna set a grill out there. We don't see any reason, because it worked very well, other than the rain. But yeah, okay, I'm done.
So if you are interested in signing up, please email the borough, volunteers. That way the borough, Sam knows that the people are interested in volunteering.
I'm sorry, what was that for?
October 12th.
Oh,
October
okay.
12th
Okay.
at 2 p.m. and then later on in the evening, they're gonna have the movie night.
Yeah,
And that's when Sam said something about making the hot dogs
okay,
for like a dinner, like kind of like dinner time.
okay.
You know,
I just didn't hear when you said you
yeah.
don't want to do that, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more information as we get closer to it. For the West Shore Rec, increase prior to our budget meeting,
We don't need to do anything like
well, yeah, it was, suggested maybe we reach out to the residents to see what their feelings are.
Yeah, Brian and Ron have a opinion.
Yeah, there's, and to be honest with you, I mean, I have the 23, and for the year 23, we only had 70 people using that. And it's 1.5% of the people using that.
And they're using that number as, for the last 3 years, that's been a number between 70 and 80.
Yeah, he said
No.
75 and 80.
Yeah, it's not much, we're talking
It's-
$3,000.
If we set down what the difference is between what the.
A lot.
Well, it's probably about $1,200 is what we're paying too much for that record. Because the people that want to go to it can bring their receipt from paying for it, and they'll give you a thing about it, and then we'll reimburse you for it. So,
So that's the other one of the options that we're.
if we decide to drop out of the West Shore Rec, that's the option that we can do. Our neighboring community, Newbury, does that now. If you decide to go to the West Shore Rec, you'll pay that difference. And that's more.
I'd be interested to know out of the 70 to 80 people, the demographics. Like, what's the, that also speaks volumes too. Is it?
It's hard to get all that information out of, we try.
Yeah, that's not, it's not part of the report they send out.
Well, I'll create a survey and get that out here, so we can gather some information.
When Brian and I attended the first meeting, they were saying there was a lot of the programs that were already filled up. And no one you know, sorry, you can't go in the door every work film, or whatever, you know? But a lot of the programs are filled up, so our residents, they go and say, oh, okay, we wanna go on the camping trip or whatever, but sorry, we're full. You know, so
First come, first served, when it says the
Yeah,
sign-ups
I know.
are August
then
first.
why are we paying that
You
much
can't
money?
wait to the 18th.
Why are we paying that much money?
I know member communities member communities get to sign up before the other
Yeah.
communities. So that is one advantage. But swimming fills up, I think, the day of.
That's the big ticket for the event.
So,
And then
You guys, the residents gotta speak up too. You guys, you know whether you use it or don't use it, makes sense to you, doesn't make sense.
You're, and probably got, I'm not sure what time frame they're talking, that whole redneck pool will be shut down for a while.
Yeah.
They're gonna rebuild the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long time.
alright, so there's trying to get a survey out. Sanitation and sewer?
Yes, can you record?
I don't
I have nothing.
I wanted to throw out there too that we have been working on the dog
Oh,
park,
yeah.
because this will be before the next meeting. We are moving forward, all the posts are installed, we're gonna go Charlie to grab some other options.
There was more.
We're gonna try to set up to have a ribbon cutting ceremony on September 29th. And the park should be open for use.
Do you guys have time yet?
We didn't set a time for it.
Will the bathrooms be ready to go?
No, we'll have to get a porta pot there or,
Okay.
yeah, so.
Well, most people are just gonna walk their dog, they're just gonna go walk their dog and then they're going to leave.
Right, I'm just asking.
I had people asking about that too, outside of the borough. Is that gonna be open to them too?
Anybody get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, public property. Yep. There's people out of the borough up to it.
Yeah.
But I'd like to say that it just goes to show you, if we all work together as one in our community, how much we can get done with everybody cooperating, getting along, and this is a perfect example of all of us working together. And hopefully it'll continue with us, and we can all just get on. And thank you, Ron, you and your family for doing the bulk of it, to be honest with you. But I've learned a lot from you and Charlie how to put a fence up.
I had 3 teenage kids from the borough showed up, I didn't get their names, I called them in their name before they left, and they literally drove 6 or 8 posts dead.
Yeah.
So
I just thought you say that, it's amazing
Yeah,
what we all can get done, if we all get along.
Never playing football.
Or at least compromise.
And set your differences aside and say, hey, let's do this. It's amazing what a community that comes together can get done. And again, thank you, Ron.
And this is your list. There's no numbers of what we have.
Thanks. No, that's fine.
Okay. Sewer and sanitation, we have nothing. Streets and highways.
Yeah, in your packets, I gave you, getting ready to do road maintenance and everything, like, people, you guys see what's happening. And, it's Big Sky, Clover, Water Street, Shelley, and behind the building there. The utility shed.
And
I
that's
put that in there, Doug, where you,
being repaid or
which one was it? The fire trucks, I don't know if it was all.
Down here? Yeah. Those grates down there,
taking the streets.
they're put on, I didn't mean to interrupt, I apologize. Go.
No, I interrupted you.
Those drains, they're on the inside of that alley.
Yeah.
Right across from it, there's one right in the center.
Yeah.
Who put those in?
That's state road.
And can that be addressed through them?
Probably, anybody ever met them? Ask them to give us sort of the behavior or sort of,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
All right.
But anyways, I'm just asking for your opinion, whether you want me to go ahead and do it. Clover is bad, Clover is really bad.
How bad, is it as bad as, South Broadway Street there? The street that runs to the river, is it that bad.
Oh,
I
yeah.
took pictures, it is horrible. It's the worst street in the borough.
Yeah, you're talking boat ramp.
No, it's a street.
It's West Broadway, yes.
It's a street, not a boat ramp. It's a street. Are we gonna do anything about it? I have pictures, I'll show you all.
That's
It's
up to
horrible,
the-
it's the worst street in the borough.
But anyways, back to what we were talking about. Wonder if everybody's giving a blessing or?
Well, this back here definitely gives you that, and this is an issue. Can we find out why the simple slow you went there now?
The parking lot?
Yeah.
That's from the drain line that goes from here out. You see the big clean out at the end of the steps? I just put that in probably about 10 years ago. So I'm sure it's sinking around it. So when he's here, we're gonna chop that out and find out what's going on.
What you're talking is one of the parking lot. Yeah, I'm good, but I'm not.
So anyways, are we gonna address that street?
Which street?
It's Broadway Street, the street that runs to the river.
It's across the railroad tracks.
I've got pictures, I'll show you all. It's horrible.
It's a street that goes to the river. It used to be an old boat ramp.
So the one right there in the center that goes all the way down?
Yeah.
But
How it got that way was, when the river came up to 24 foot, this was back when Mr. Fischel was borough manager. The river come up to 24 foot. There was all this debris laying on this ramp, wood, garbage. So what they did was brought a fire truck down and set it up and blew the water off that street, all that debris off that street into the river. I mean, it pushed that stuff out far in the river. And doing that, they ripped half the street up, big hunks. And they did that.
every year with old patch.
But it's been patched here and there, but patching it,
Yeah.
I got pictures, I'll show you, there are patches here and there, but it's not repaired in the street.
Across, I've been trying to patch that with cold patch, but the part where he's talking about is too much for cold patch.
Well,
It's all stone.
it shouldn't be concrete anyway.
It doesn't get used up.
Oh, right.
It's a dirty street.
It's 50 or 80 feet wide. I would like to see it once we get the other stuff called out. I'd like to cut the trees on the sides and make it,
How often?
and use it and park there again. They used to use it and park right on the ramp, but it's closed in, you can't do it.
Yeah, it was the original road.
Yeah, so. But we gotta keep bathrooms and stuff done first.
Okay, thank you, I just wanted, instead of saying anyways, thank you.
Well, we were on one subject and you changed it. I don't want to change what we're on.
Now, see, there's multiple options in here. Are you selecting from a number that you're going to?
No, they're all the different jobs.
They're gonna do all?
They're all different contracts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this probably exceeds public building threshold. I'm doing some quick math. I think it must be over $25,000 or something like that.
Yeah, we put it all together as one, yes.
Okay, that's what I was asking. It looked like you were choosing from a couple.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do it before, so
Yeah.
we're not gonna do all of them. We're not gonna do some of them.
So these would be done individually.
Yes.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, we'll do some of this law.
Gotcha.
Some of you have nothing to budget for this year, so.
AMP electric transmission sheets, cost is going up, and the electric
Yes.
utility will be meeting to discuss the rate increase.
Yes, you guys are not gonna be happy, the electric's gonna go up 6.36 cents a kilowatt. So it's going from 12.5 cents to 18 cents a kilowatt.
18 cents?
That's like a third of, I'm sorry.
What's that?
That's like a third of the difference. That's
Yeah.
a large.
Yep, large increase.
How much is it going up?
6.36 cents.
And that's not the borough rates,
No,
right?
that's amp only increase. They haven't done anything, every other electric company has done it right at COVID, and now they're up at 18, 19 cents a kilowatt. And didn't do anything for 4 or 5 years.
And that's it's mostly because of the transmission rate.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see, I have 3 copies here. We have no choice in that, that's what they charge us. If we want electric, we'll pay.
And that's per kilowatt.
Per kilowatt, yes.
It's not break out of oil.
6.36. it's not gonna happen again. I just want to make everybody aware of it, I know it's gonna start a lot of customs. We have no choice in that.
Must be your fault.
What's that?
Okay, next is zoning. So the zoning the issue in violation of the individuals using the camper as living space, we discussed that. Motion to accept the committee reports.
Okay.
All those in favor? Opposed? Alright. Unfinished business. We have a motion to accept and adopt the ordinance 2024-1, amending chapter 1, administration and government, part 2, office of the borough manager, section 1-203, qualifications of the Goldsboro Borough Code of Ordinances. Is there any further member discussion or public comment?
You want to explain to the public what that is?
What was being amended, can I ask?
What's that?
What is being amended?
That's what I'm.
They want to amend the distance that they're carrying a manager.
So,
From 5 minutes to
The
10 mile
amendment-
radius.
the amendment reads, the manager shall be chosen solely on the basis of his or her technical, executive, and administrative abilities with special reference to the actual experience in or knowledge of accepted practices in respect to the duties of the office as herein outlined. The manager need not be a resident of the borough or the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania at the time of appointment, but as soon as possible thereafter, the manager shall become and during his or her tenure as borough manager shall remain a resident within York County, living no more than 10 air miles from the borough office.
That's what is being amended to.
That's what's being amended.
Yes, what's
So just to add some more clarity to it, there's no requirement in the borough code to have any residency requirement at all in a borough manager, or to fill a borough manager position. A lot of these ordinances, particularly the older ones, had built-in requirements for you to reside in the municipality in which you're managing to ensure responsiveness. This still has a geographic requirement, even though it's not required to. It's now just expanding it to 10 miles to increase potential future candidate pools.
I want to follow up on what you said there. I know it's not a law, but it is preferred and recommended that the borough manager live within the borough because his decisions affect the residents, it also affects his decisions.
Yeah, certainly, if there's any number
That's-
of policy components that you
Right.
can consider.
This
How
is
much does it cost, how much does it cost the borough for this amendment?
You advertise it.
Yeah, so $300-400.
Huh?
$300-400.
Are you serious?
Newspaper advertisements are pricey.
When I wanted something amended, I was told that it cost thousands and thousands of dollars to change
Depends
an
if you're doing an
ordinance.
ordinance or a resolution. Depends on what you're doing.
I think it also matters a lot of the subject matter. You have to heavily research it, the time that you go into it. This is just pretty facial amendment.
This is, no, it has nothing to do with me.
Well,
It's for any future manager.
If that's the case, then why restrict it to 10 miles?
You don't have to.
Let's go 50. Because that also opens it up at a later date when Charlie leaves office for us to, hold on, for us to be able to advertise within that 50-mile limit.
We can advertise wherever we want. You do want the person to be able to get here to turn the water back on.
Within 10 minutes.
restricted to just 10. Number two, you were appointed in 2019?
Yes.
We're at 2024? Why are we adjusting and amending this now?
They should have done it. It's a
Somebody just put on the
event, brought it to their attention, I'm guessing.
All right.
But a 50-mile radius, you gotta be careful, that would.
I'm throwing that out hypothetically, 50. I'm saying to put you in the middle.
Wouldn't it?
Okay.
If you want a 50-mile radius, go down 83 to Maryland, how many miles is that from the borough? 40 miles? That would put you in the middle.
Specified York County.
But it's saying within York
It said
County,
within York County, so that doesn't say.
right? But it said it had to live in York County.
Yeah,
So-
so they can't even, so Middletown, someone who resides in Middletown will not be able to live in Middletown.
Correct.
and be in
Oh.
Borough.
No, I was just referring to
That's,
them.
that's within,
There was people applied last time from Middletown.
that's within 10 miles,
Mhm.
but that's a 30-minute
That's
drive.
out of the first
Not unless they walk across the river.
And to add some more clarity to it, it's, you can appoint somebody at the time of their appointment, they can live further, but then the requirement is to move closer afterward.
But please don't go over 10 miles just because of the being called out. I know. Electric wise, water wise, you gotta be within 10 miles to make it your time. People are gonna be without service for a long time.
But I think our first choice should be to look at the borough, because there are several residents here.
Anybody can apply.
Right, I'm just saying.
Anybody can apply, and it's with whoever's the council at the time to make those decisions at that time. You know, and this,
They did that before, there was 3 or 4 people that applied.
Right.
But they
But
didn't
I
know,
didn't know they would do
they
it.
didn't know a damn thing about the system, so that's why they couldn't make it.
yeah, there's also a very technical component in this, being that we run our own electric company and water company. So,
That's it.
What does a borough manager get appointed? How often does that happen?
Hired.
they're hired and then they're reappointed once a year.
I went every 2 years.
Or 3 years.
After the election.
You effectively serve at the pleasure of the board,
Right. At will employee.
or council, sorry.
That's
So is there any further member discussion or public comment? All right, do we have a motion to accept and adopt ordinance 2024-1?
make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mine's nay at this time.
Mine,
All right.
What's your, should you say?
Aye. 3-2.
Yeah, he predicted it.
So the motion carries.
Yes. You want the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, reason for the solicitor's resignation. I think that's.
And this was Johnson Duffy's.
Yeah, Jonathan W. I just wanted to reach out and give you an update on scheduling of your disposition. Claims attorney had indicated. Is this right then? That's not the right page. I'm sorry. Anyways, they retired, they resigned because they were tired of the grief and the backlash of huge surgery.
Yeah, I think they will.
We didn't read it, it was posted online.
Yeah. Same with that fire company. Problem down there, I remember that either. Yeah, so anyways, that's why they resigned. I'm sorry, you're getting it out, right?
Yeah, I was trying to,
It was the second place.
Peter, and it's,
I didn't put it on my bar.
yeah.
they don't need that kind of crap, so it's not they've done. And they know who they are.
Alright, here, this is dated, July 11th, 2024. Charlie, Rich Creek Borough Manager, resignation of solicitorship. Dear Charlie, it's with bittersweet sentiment that I submit this formal letter of resignation as solicitor for the Borough of Goldsboro. The Goldsboro Borough Council appointed me as solicitor in 1999, which commenced a 25-year engagement serving the legal needs for this proud community. Over this period, I had the pleasure and honor of working with a number of upstanding and committed community leaders who were focused on doing the best for Goldsboro Borough and its residents. At the risk of overlooking other dedicated community members, I am most appreciative of having the opportunity to work with late Lee V. Fischel in his capacity as Borough Manager, a position he held for over 50 years. Lee's dedication to the Borough of Goldsboro stood second to none, and we all benefited from his steward commitment to the community, or still work. Unfortunately, in recent years, my practice has required me to focus my energies in different directions, and while I'm confident in the sound legal counsel my associate Jason Stowler, Esquire, has been able to provide you in the Goldsboro Borough Council in the last several years, slanderous accusations and attacks by a small band of community activists in recent years has made a mockery of local government. Consequently, we have made the difficult decision to step down from our role as solicitor for the Borough of Goldsboro. We wish great success to you and other members of Borough Council and community members who are committed to upholding the high standards of decency and community involvement as demonstrated by the late Lee Fisher and others. We remain at your disposal to ensure a smooth transition of solicitorship duties to the next law firm engaged by Borough Council. With respect, Johnson Duffy Stewart, Wagner, PC, Michael J. Cassidy, Esquire. Reason for previous account use resignation.
That's the reason they are, accounting firm resigned is they don't do municipalities anymore. They did Newbury, they did here, they did a lot of municipalities. They downsized, but they didn't have employees, and this is what they dropped. It was not that there was any problems with Goldsboro or anything like that. They did all the audits, they did electric, sewer, water, all of it, general. So I just wanted out there why they resigned. It wasn't because of the problem, or because they just couldn't do it anymore.
Alright. Any further unfinished business? Or public comment? Alright. Councilperson's comments, Ron? Do you have anything? Alright. Brian?
No comment.
Bill?
No comment.
Rob?
Nothing.
New business. Discussion on repealing chapter 24, taxation, special part 5, volunteer emergency services tax credit program of the Borough of Goldsboro Code of Ordinances and replacing it with a resolution. So, since it's an ordinance currently, we have to repeal it to replace it with a resolution.
What do we have to do?
Yeah, I'm happy to expand on it. The authorizing legislation enables you to do this by either ordinance or resolution. A number of communities opt to do it via resolution because there's no advertising requirements that go and correspond with the resolution. There still are administrative requirements in the legislation to the extent that you want to change it at any period of time. You have to hold a public hearing. But this essentially, as I understand it, keeps what you have in place but just switches it to a resolution for now.
Just it's easier to change the resolution to the
Right.
ordinance.
Less money than federal.
Less cost.
Well, we have to vote to have him write it,
Right.
and then advertise it, and then,
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was asking.
If we advertise it, you do it at your next meeting, and you'd adopt the resolution as a separate action.
You gotta go now, what do you want him to do?
You gotta, to vote to repeal it first, then have a vote to have him write it. And then,
no, we can have him write it in the meantime.
yeah, they could, in the meantime.
So I need a motion to advertise the ordinance. I need a motion to direct the solicitor to rewrite repeal the ordinance, and rewrite it to a resolution.
I'll make the motion.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? All right, now I need a motion to advertise, the resolution, or the ordinance, I'm sorry, the repeal action.
I'll make the motion.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? All right, now we have the Club Food Animal Control Contract.
There, that's just natural right there. It's a brand I gave you each a copy of it. It's just a moment, it's an every year contract for picking up animals. But it still has to be approved by the board.
So is there any member discussion or public comment?
Is that a yearly contract or is that per pickup?
Year. I think you didn't.
This is really not just like stuff for cats and
Yeah,
they all just walk it up there.
Yeah,
And
yep.
then they still get it fixed and then bring it back.
Yeah. Yep. Then you gotta come back.
The SPCA did that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
They do too. Good luck, you didn't hear.
The SPCA, you know, why we paying so much?
Did you ask for a public comment on that?
Yeah.
So, what do you get for that contract, and how much is it?
It is $200 for the retention of the services,
That's so much for animal.
and then a fee of $28 per hour, 95 cents per mile. Based on gasoline not exceeding $3.85. If gas is more than $3.99, we agree to pay an increased mileage charge.
And just so you know, we only have one vendor. We paid their service one time. So $80-some. But by law, we have to have somebody.
Do they work with, local SPCA? They do? Okay.
We've been doing it for Borough for, I don't know, probably 6-7 years.
They don't pick up stray cats though, right?
I don't think that. If someone captures them, they'll come and get them. They'll come to our trap. But then they can get fixed in weeks. So. Here's mine. Yeah, put it where we need.
Is there a breakdown of the animals they will pick? See that, I see dog.
Number 12.
Is this the first contract that the borough is having for animal control, or did they have one before?
The borough, yeah, we've always had one. We've had these for, I don't know how many years now, but yeah, we've always had one.
They will track.
Yeah. Oh, we'll try with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're dedicated.
Clove, how long is it? We've always had them?
We've always had it,
Yeah.
always.
Always, so it's been quite a while.
Yes.
Yeah, we always
So that was never kind of like tried to be updated with other quotes?
Well,
The borough must have one. There's only a few people who do it. There's only a few outfits that do it.
And by
So-
law,
the borough has to have one.
And I noticed,
By law, the borough has to have one.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that, I'm just asking,
can you
did we
follow
get different
up
quotes
on that?
recently, if we've had this forever?
You can take that.
Oh, yeah, I just.
When you have companies
You care about
and
retail?
other people forever, they tend to take advantage,
because again, we have two.
like the long term
Change
contract,
Yeah.
but that's just my opinion.
But for dinner.
No, we've always had
Because they're
one.
running around next
We
door.
haven't always had this.
Okay, then I misunderstood you, I apologize.
Clarify that. That's, yeah, the borough has to have one.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand that.
No.
Just one. I just wanted to know what happened, see what was going on.
So I need, if we're gonna approve it tonight, I need a motion to approve it. If not, I need a motion to table it or what?
I'll make the motion to approve it.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed?
Does it ever go out for bids?
Pardon?
Does it ever go out for bids?
Well, every now and then, just do phone calls, check.
I didn't hear you.
Every now, like, not every year, you don't do it, but every 2 years, whatever, just phone call and see what other people are charging. Okay. This is a private, so they're cheaper. Okay. So, but they're respectful, responsible. They answer your calls.
All right, treasurer's report, is there any member discussion or public comment?
It's in the packet.
Council should have a copy of it. Hearing none, I need a motion to accept the treasurer's report. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Presentation of the bills, council should have a copy of the bills. Any discussion, comment on the bills?
I do have a question on one, general fund 1438 for the laptop, anybody speak to that?
Yes, is the one you're looking at right here.
Is it the borough buying a laptop?
Pardon me?
The borough buying a laptop?
Yes.
Okay.
The other one's bad. Locked up.
I mean, I was just kind of confused because it says Beth Johnson, looks like
I had,
a president or something.
I had her go pick it up. It was on the weekend or late at night or something.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, that's why money didn't pay to her.
all right.
Any other discussion? Not, I need a motion to pay the bills.
Make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Yep. The hearing for Mr. McGee and Mrs. Versus the Borough of Goldsboro is currently scheduled for October 3rd, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Charlie, please notify the participants of the date and time of the hearing.
Yeah.
We have a budget workshop scheduled for October 9th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. and a utility meeting to follow, and that's scheduled for October 9th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. The next council meeting is scheduled for October 14th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. I need a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.